What happens? The guy was taking captivity, and he didn't have a chance yet. Karma didn't have a chance to harvest his field. Another litza to cut, to harvest his grapes, or tamarim ligdar, or to cut down his dates, zaysim limsek, or his olives to cut down. So, he didn't have a chance. What do we do? And it's now time for the harvest. Bezdin Yordin Lachasra, Bezdin will go down to his estate. Umamidin Apatrufas, they will get a stranger in to go ahead and take care of all of the affairs. The kites and the bites of the guy said he cuts them all down, he harvests. And afterwards, but he didn't cut him the chassav. And afterwards, we send out a relative because we said if we didn't hear that he died, we heard that he died, everybody agrees. We send out a relative. If we didn't hear he died, we send out a relative, and at worst, he gets paid like an aris. Says the Gemara. The loikim apatrufa la'olam. Why you only have apatrufas to the harvest? Maintain the apatrufas forever till the guy, we find out what happened to this guy in captive. Is he killed or is he coming back? Says the Gemara, apatrufa lediknoni loimukminan. We generally do not appoint an apatrufas for a person with a beard. An older person can take care of themselves. We don't have these apatrufas who invest time and effort for free, for gratis, to help somebody else. For a cotton, it's a mitzvah to help out, but not for a government. Amar Buddha says, "Ein reading cotton." Now that we said you send a relative down, but don't send down a minor. Why not? We'll see in a minute. That's din number one. Number two, because he has no idea what he's doing, as we'll see. Number two, but like cotton, we do not send down a relative if the owner of the estate who disappeared is a minor. We don't send down a relative because over the years he'll start claiming that he ashed it, that it's his, that he bought it, and the child won't know how to contest that. It's not fair. And number three, like machmas is a cotton. The same token, if the child has a brother, let's say, from his father who will yashir him, and his brother from his father has a brother from his mother, share common mother. That second brother, share common mother, don't bring him to the property either, because he will say that my brother who shares a father with his cotton is yashing him or bought him, whatever it is, and I yashing my brother, and therefore I'm taking it away. I think, well, let's go through this. Why should you have a minor going in to help out? Dilma Mafsli, he has no idea what he's doing. He might ruin the whole field. Well, like why not? Talking about the brother of the mother. The second brother was a brother who shared a common mother with the first brother. Why not? Now let's go. Why shouldn't you bring a cotton to Nichse cotton? Because the child has no idea that after 3 years he has to protest. Over time, the guy will say, "Oh, I bought it, but I am here 3 years and nobody complained." I will learn a cheskes about him. If you're in a property for 3 years and nobody complains, it is yours. Says the Gemara. Omar Rav says Rav. Shmami no Rav. We learn another thing from Rav Huna that that if somebody says, "I own this field," and we know that the child owned it previously, but I'm here already for 5 years. So what happened? The child became 13, became 12. And he continued for another 3 years. Does he have a right to say, no, well, Bava Metzia didn't protest, proves that the property is mine? It seems clear enough. Rav Huna seems to be saying, we never send down a cotton leg, because it started out when he was a cotton and he has no idea what the rules are. He doesn't know that after 3 years of Bava Metzia, suddenly he should be, within 3 years of Bava Metzia, he should be protesting. He thinks that, because it started when he was a cotton, he doesn't do any investigation to find out if things changed after Bava Metzia. So you want to shram that you cannot make what do you call it, a chazak in a cotton. We make even if this child now is over Bava Metzia and he's already 3 years over Bava Metzia, doesn't matter. We don't. There's no chazaka. Because that's why we don't mind if a friend person, we don't allow a relative, because he'll say yashne, but we don't mind if a friend person goes in there, because the friend person cannot claim, oh, it's mine, but I'm here so long, because there's no chazaka by a property of a minor, even if you were there for 3 years post Bava Metzia, because he started out when he was a child. So the Gemara, now the Gemara wants to qualify. When do we say that? That the first brother was a brother shared a common father. So therefore, we want to bring that guy into the state because he can say that Ayash, it's my Yerusha. If it's a brother who only shared the mother, he can't say it's a Yerusha. No problem. Only when it comes to property, only when it comes to land, because he can claim Ayashne. It's my Yerusha, my share of the Yerusha. Aval bebote, but when it comes to houses, less but there's no issue whatsoever because everyone knows which person got the house, and they all know that this house belonged to the mother. So the brother can't come later and say, "Oh, it's my Yerusha." And even property, we don't say that there's a problem. Ella de la Ovid Itla, you didn't make the special star where he spelled out who gets what property. Ovid Itla, they made this document that spells out who gets what property, then call these, everybody knows who got what, and therefore even a close relative can work by the child, the minor, because nothing can go awry. However, it's not true. Loishna makes no difference. Achidaba makes absolutely no difference. And because even Achidima can argue, really, this property originated from my mother, and then my father, who happened to be your father, married her, and then when he died, really, I am entitled to my mother's property. When he dies, he goes back to my mother, and therefore I yashin my mother, and it's now I'm entitled to it. So we can cause all kinds of problems for the minor. He wouldn't have a clue how to defend himself. And he'll claim that the father died before my mother, so my mother took the field back, and it's mine. So loishna achidima, arata loishna bati makes no difference. Property, land, loishna avidita, loishna lavidita makes no difference. Made a start. Loy machtinen. Why ask for trouble? Ahisata was his older woman. The Havila class bouncer had 3 daughters. Ish taboy, she was taken into captivity. One of the daughters, or 3 daughters were Yashner. One daughter was taken into captivity. The mother, we don't know yet what happened to them. Either Tarti, the other 2 girls remained behind. Banza, Shchiva, Chodim, and I. One of them died. The Shavkinuk left behind a child. So what you have now is 1 daughter alive here, 1 grandson who represents the other daughter, and then you have a mother and daughter that to take captivity. You don't know if they're still alive or not. So what do you do now with the Yerusha? Amar Abai says, this is what you do. What you do? To give the entire estate in the hand of the sister, because halacha like Shimon Gamliel. That what? And like Shmuel, that we will send a relative down to a even though we don't know if they died or not, and at worst they'll get paid like a sharecropper. So let's give the sister, the remaining sisters alive, let's give her all the property. Oh, it can be. Because maybe the grandmother, maybe the woman, the mother died, and now so the estate belongs to the 3 sisters. And one of the sisters died, left behind a cotton. And before, Rabuna just said, you do not send down a relative to the nechasim of a cotton to work it, because later on they might that's their Yerusha. Dilma Shchiva Safka, maybe she died. They might even cut it. We do not send down a kodev to the estate of a child. So Nukmina nechasim nuka, let's give it to the child. No, Dilma Shchiva Safka made the grandmother didn't die. They might even cut it. We said we don't do it. We don't bring a cotton into the nechasim of somebody to take captivity. What do we do? So Abai says, this is a puzzle. This is what we do. You give half to the remaining sisters alive because the manashach. If the mother and the sister died, died, so then she's entitled to half. So this is her half. And let's say none of them died. We just said before, we send a relative down to the estate of someone to take captivity, so she can go down, but only half. The other half might belong to the other sister, which is the son. And we don't send a relative down to a minor's property. So what do we do with the other half? We set up a patrufa to mind the child, because maybe half it belongs to the child. So we have a patrufa to take care of the child. And we don't let the child work the field because maybe the grandmother didn't die, and we don't have a child going into the field because he'll ruin it. Rava says, the moment since we decided that we're going to have a patrufas anyway for half the field, they might as well do it for the entire field. Instead of doing a manoshech, she's at least, if the mother is still alive, the sister then is just an oris. If you have an apatrufas, it's even better. Says it takes nothing. A patrufas just gets paid, for his time. That's it. It's not a sharecropper. Doesn't get no profit sharing, nothing. The Saif, later on, the story continued, it evolved. Shamu, they heard the Shchivas after. They heard that the grandmother died, but they have no idea if the sister's alive or not. Amar Abai says, well, Tilsa Yavin Lachta. A third definitely goes to the surviving sister because that's what she's entitled to. The Tilsa Yavin Nuka. And the third goes to the other sister who died, and her son therefore collects the third. The question is what happened to the remaining third? We don't know if that other sister is still alive or not. Tilsa, Yavina Danka, you break the third into half, so it's a sixth. You give a 6 la'achta because Manoshech, if the sister's dead, she yashes. If the sister's alive, she's working on her sister's property and she'll get paid like an oris. The either Danka, the other 6, The child can't go in because maybe the sister didn't die and you don't have a child going working in the field, so you bring an apatrufas in. Comes along Rav and says, "Mi goy de moikim apatrufas danka, bukmim nam apatrufas danka." Once you bring apatrufas in, make the apatrufas work on the entire estate. Mori barisig. Also, suddenly out of the blue, he suddenly found out that he had a brother, the Bey Chazoi, that came from Chazoi, the city of Chazoi. Amala, he came in and he said, Ploigli, I'm entitled to half the Yerusha. I want you to give me half of the Yerusha, half of the estate. Amala, I never saw you. I don't know who you are. I remember there was another child, but you were a baby then. I don't recognize you. I was the kind of Chizda. So the brother from Bey Chazoi went to Rav Chizda, and he said, "Look, our father went to Chazoi, he got married, and and I'm a part of that marriage union. So his father is my father, and Muddy was there as well. He knows he had a brother, and Muddy came back here. So and he was working his father's estate, which is we said before you might even cut it, but now I'm here. I want my half. My entitled my half. Amalei. So Chiz said, first of all, when Modi said, I don't recognize you, he wasn't lying. Shapik Amalach, he told you the truth. Remember it says, Vayaka Yosef is Echav, Yosef recognized his brothers, but Behaim lo yikaru, they did not recognize him. Melamed, it comes to teach us, and he left without a beard, so they didn't recognize him. And now when they came, they saw he had a beard. Amalei. So now Rav Chizah said to this brother, bring him that you are a brother and a son of this man, that father. Amalei Isli Sadi. I do have witnesses. They're scared of Marty because he's a very tough guy and they're scared to antagonize him. Amalei Lididei. So then he turned around to Marty. He said, "You know what, Zil, you go." And I said, "You witnesses, bring witnesses. He's not your brother." He said, "That's right." Modi said, "How isn't it the onus of proof is on that person?" This is how I judge you. All those strong-handed people like yourself who intimidate others, I pass him the same way. Amalei. So then he said to Rav Jesus, "What's the point?" So I can bring the witnesses that my brother has, claiming he's a brother, and because they're scared of me, they're going to lie. They're going to say that he's not my brother. So what's the point of me bringing witnesses? Amalei. Oh, they'll come and they won't testify like my brother. They'll testify in my behalf. Amalei tartila of the. One thing bad enough that the witnesses no testimony. It says in Pasuk Imla Yagid that there's a sin. But they're scared. They won't open their mouths. But to open their mouths and lie that far, to have two witnesses, I don't believe that's going to happen. L'soif also sided. Achlev came along two witnesses who testified that actually he is the brother. Malay. So now the brother of Bechazai said, "I want you to divide with me, not just the field itself. I want you to give me a chelik in all the orchards, or bustani in all the gardens, the shusli that you cut down in the past. Everything. I'm a half owner. Everything that you took, half of it is mine." Malay. So Rav Chizah said, "Shapir Kamalach." He's right. He's totally he's totally within his rights. The time he learned, he needed running down time. He left behind children, older and younger. The older ones improved the property. So whatever improvement they made, he's half and half. And so too, Rabba ruled the same way like Chizah, that once he divided in half. Amalei. Interesting. Rashi says here that Rabba was a student of Rav Chizah, and he wanted to change. It wasn't Rabba, it was Rav. But usually we learn Rabba and Rav Chizah have arguments as if they were colleagues. So unless initially he was a student, and later on he became a colleague. Amalei Abai said, "Midam." How do you compare the case? When a father passed away and bequeathed his estate, and the older brothers, they work in the field, they know they have younger brothers, so when they're working, they're moichel the time and effort to help out the younger brothers. Therefore, the younger brothers are entitled to have. Over here, he did not know that he had a brother. Actually, before Rashi said he knew he had a brother, just to know who it was. But he didn't know he had a brother who coming here, so when he put the efforts in, he only thought about himself. Why should he divide it? It turned out to be that it turned out to be that this very whole conversation came from Rab Ami. Amalur Ami said, I have a problem of Chizib Sak for another reason. We said before that greater than them, somebody working somebody in the field, we pay them as a sharecropper. Hashta the day in his when you work in someone else's field. We say you're entitled to compensation, at least when the guy comes back. To get like a sharecropper, now that this guy here worked his own field, we shouldn't give him the entire lot, whatever he worked at least in the past, it should be his. They presented this back to Rav Chizda. Amalu Rav Chizda responded, "Me, dummy. What are you comparing? Hasan b'shusnach. Did the Bezin sent you down to that guy's field? If the owner came back, we say, no, what? Since you went there, we're the one who told you to go there. So therefore, you're entitled to get compensated. You never asked anybody. You just ran the field, and because you ran the field without any permission, therefore, now the brother appeared. He's entitled to have." And Oid Kotnu is a minor, but ain't Marin Koto, and they said, you have no right to go there in the first place. Not only you didn't ask. If you would have asked, we would have told you that if you have a younger brother, you can't go into the field. The ruler they said relate this all back to Rabbi. He said, nobody concluded before me that Kotnu there's a minor. So I was totally wrong. I wasn't told that he's a minor. Okay, we'll stop over here. Everybody, have a good walk.